Welcome to the College Football X with your hosts, John Nelson and John Wilkerson.
Welcome to officially another season of the College Football X. John here, John there. That's how this goes. And so one of us is H-less. One of us has one more letter in the first name than the other, but we're both Johns. We're both named John. Don't get your heads out of where they were for that 15 or 20 seconds.
Two Johns talking about football.
Two Johns, one ball. Oh, we're off and running in the midweek.
Yeah, we're in midseason form now.
You ain't kidding, brother. Midseason form. So we do have a couple of things we want to get into. We got media days that are going on in and around all the Power Fives. And for those that may not know and might be drifting by here for the first time, Wilkie, how would you break down what the College Football X is as a part of our universe?
College Football X is basically just a couple of guys talking college football. We bring in guests. We've had some heavy hitters come on our show. And we're in the middle of right now putting together a guest list, and starting next week we'll start bringing some of those guys in to talk about the upcoming season in the major college level and on the group of five level. And we also will talk to those programs that have made the step up from FCS to FBS or have moved up from D2 to FCS. Those are really good stories as to why they want to be Division I programs. So those are some of the things you will be doing on the College Football X. And, it's a very fluid situation. So we'll be as timely as possible. And, of course, last year we were pretty darn timely with some of our guests that we had on. So it gets better from here.
We are efforting all the things. And so that is the idea. We're going to start, obviously we're going to work on the SEC a little bit, and that'll be like the first half of the show. Second half of the show, we're going to discuss the pantheon of muscular birds and figure out what in the wide world of sports is going on.
I thought we talked to one about a muscular bird our last show.
I know, but apparently they're breaking out all over the place, I mean, it will be
good to be a bird.
Yeah, maybe if you're good to be a bird with muscles these days. So that'll be in the second part of the show. But the first part, if we have something akin to a breaking news sounder or a developing story sounder, this is kind of where we're going. And, when you see things like this come across during media days, your eyebrow kind of raises a little bit. You're kind of sitting there going, huh? And at ACC Media Days, Jim Phillips spoke for a little less than an hour at ACC Kickoff, giving the state of the conference, who's in, who's out, what he's anticipating, all these kinds of things. And at the lectern, according to Adam Smith at Inside Carolina, here's how it broke down. The increasingly clearer reality, though, is only short-run stability has been assured for the conference whose borders stretch from coast to coast. Now, at the lectern adorned with ACC football logos and graphics here at the Hilton Uptown, the ground wasn't figuratively shaking beneath the commissioner's feet, but with the legal settlement significantly decreasing the league's exit fees by tens of millions and its once ironclad grant of rights media deal dissolved. Did it even really exist? There's security from the tremors of realignment only for the time being. Sources told Inside Carolina that it looks like, with Clemson and Florida State thinking they were jumping, but now they're back. Any such group interested in seeking a potential departure from the ACC includes North Carolina. The Tar Heels even could be considered at the front of that pack along Clemson, sources said about the next round of realignment that is brewing. The 18-team membership, 17 in football minus Notre Dame, remaining intact through at least June of 27. As per the settlement's new parameters. Now, official notices must be filed by June 1 for withdrawal to become effective June 30 the following year. So if an ACC school files for withdrawal on June 1 of 26, it's $147 million to leave the end of the following June.
Right.
From there, exit fees drop by $18 million each year until leveling off at $75 million in 30-31. The exit costs remain considerable, but they're not prohibitive. So let's just say somebody in the All Coast Conference, Wilkie, wants to leave said All Coast Conference. for 2030, if they sit there and say, or 2029, whichever the direction the math goes,
Yeah.
it appears that somebody like like the University of North Carolina Chapel Hill could exit the All Coast Conference for only $75 million. That's a year and a half. That's 18 months of TV revenue come 2030, 31. So is this, I guess, the next groundwork being laid for the next round of realignment, or realignment in capital letters as opposed to just the word realignment?
Well, it was from the beginning when the ACC decided to have a graduated scale down on the buyouts out of the conference. You expected this or somebody to bite to leave the league in 2030 when for the last 5 years of the TV contract that stays flat. But speculation was that the SEC covets North Carolina, not because of their statute, but also because of the fact of the men's basketball program. Could be that nemesis for Kentucky. I think that's what the next move is going to be, more toward men's basketball than it is for football. And Carolina fits those parameters because the SEC has been trying to find some kind of nemesis for Kentucky in men's basketball for years. They thought they had it with Arkansas back in the 90s. And it was that way for about 3-4 years. And then Arkansas's program kind of went down, and Kentucky remained a top-level program and won a few national championships as well. Who's going to be the dance partner? Because it's going to be somebody from the ACC. If you held a gun to my head and said you got to name a dance partner, who do you think it's going to be? I would say it'd be Virginia.
Really?
Because I think the SEC covets the academics of Virginia.
Okay.
They have a national championship pedigree, although last year was pretty bad for them in men's basketball.
Yes.
But if you're smart about it, NC State should be the dance partner.
Right.
Because you keep that intact. State's got a lot of things going for them right now in football, in men's basketball, and then in other sports. Mm-hmm. And I think that would be the shot that NC State needs because they always talk about North Carolina being the sleeping giant program, especially in football.
Okay.
I've always thought it's at the school in Raleigh because there's a lot of money behind that program. They just haven't gotten the right fit when they've come in, when coaches have come in, and it just hasn't worked out for some reason. So if you were smart, you would take the Wolfpack to be the dance partner with the Tar Heels. And that would pretty much be, in my opinion, a death nail to the ACC because two flagship programs in the Carolinas would be moving on to the SEC.
And as we get closer to week 0 and such, we'll discuss realignment, galactic realignment, who is where, what it looks like, who's doing all this kind of stuff. But when you were mentioning dance partners, I thought the common sense dance partner was State to turn the SEC into an 18-team league. Yeah. And then the All-Coast Conference goes to a 16-team league plus, Notre Dame being a part of the discussion. So,
and remember this too, John, the SEC network is based in Charlotte.
Yeah.
So the SEC has always wanted to have a presence, a Carolina school, to justify being in Charlotte because that was very controversial when they decided to base out of there.
Yeah.
And looks like in 5 years it might happen. But it just seems like from people I've talked to that Virginia is what the SEC wants, but NC State makes more sense.
So Virginia is what the SEC wants. NC State is what they need, is what you're saying.
Exactly.
Okay. Speaking of the Southeast Conference, they have had their media days. People have survived them. And there were a lot of interesting wardrobe choices by the athletes that have made their way in.
Always. It's becoming like the NFL draft.
Yeah, it's like, okay, so who's wearing what? Who's got the suit? Who's got the bolo tie? Who's got?
It helps when you have money now.
Woo, boy, yeah, that is absolutely true.
An agent.
Yeah, that too.
A fashion consultant.
Yes, and I'm sure that all of those are somewhat intertwined as a part of all
All
of
right.
the.
Think
Yeah.
about when we did SEC Media Days, let's say back in 1995. That was my first one.
All right. Yeah.
Agents and fashion designers, part of the lexicon of SEC Media Day.
For those on camera not being interviewed.
Well, now it's for the ones being interviewed.
Right. I'm just saying that when we were
Yes,
covering up those
yes.
ones, it was the
Uh,
ones in front of the camera, not the ones at the back end of the microphone.
I showed up with my TV station polos. I actually went through a few of those the other day while I was going through all these volumes
Do
of
they still fit?
messages. I got rid of them years ago, dude.
Oh,
But think about it, SEC football, and you've got fashion consultants for these kids. All
absolutely.
right, well, go on, finish your thought.
Well, no, just it's your big takeaways other than fashion consultants, agents, the land of nil, and everything else that has gone on there at Hoover. We have.
Not in Hoover anymore.
Oh, that's right. No, it's at the College Football Hall of Fame. That's right.
Yeah.
Where you can buy our books. And it was an effective use of the artificial football surface there
Yep.
at the College Football Hall of Fame. You'd think that I'd remember that, considering I watched it. I guess it just went one ear and out the other.
Eh,
Yeah, I
things
know.
happen.
Yeah. So it's so you look at the SEC from 30,000 feet. I guess you can take it from however you want to when it comes to media day or what. But what are you looking at when it comes to the SEC here in 2025?
Well, obviously, Texas seems to be the sexy choice in the SEC, and
Sark is on the cover of Dave Campbell's Texas Football. That ought to tell you something.
well, yeah, and there's no jinx there either.
No.
Which is a great magazine, by the way. I've been reading that since I was in elementary school.
Subscriber.
And yeah, Arch Manning, we're going to see his body of work finally. And we've seen glimpses of it, but now it's his time to shine at Texas. And, with the talent that's returning to Austin, with the brilliant offensive mind of Steve Sarkisian and that staff, this is the time really for Texas to finally make its statement in its second year in the SEC and compete for a national championship. This is all that they've wanted in Austin since it was announced they were coming to the SEC. And then I can't help but think back to when Texas A&M joined the league in 2011,
Oh.
the opportunity the Aggies missed
Ooh.
to be the program in the SEC. But now that the Horns have come in, let's just say the order of succession in Texas is now pretty much in place as you expected.
I mean, you had your shot, you had your opportunity, and now that the big folks from Austin are now a part of the discussion, it is no longer College Station and everybody else on that side of the Mississippi. It is back to being Austin and College Station. And what do you think? What do you think those conversations are like between the alums now that the UTA alums are back in it and in the same conference as the folks from TAMU, and it's like, hey, guess what? Hey, we're back, and they're like, all right,
It's no different than when they were in the Southwest Conference. I mean,
yeah, exactly.
think about it.
Sunday
It's the
morning
same
church and
thing.
Monday morning lunch. Yeah, what happened to you last week?
Yeah, I mean, and to me, it's great. I'm a child of the Southwest Conference, so I love the fact that A&M and Texas are barking at each other, and we just got to get Arkansas up there in the top five of the conference, and then I'll be happy. But now Texas opens against Ohio State
Uh-huh.
in Columbus, which is going to be a classic game to watch. We're seeing the Horns running out in the horseshoe. That'll set the tone for the season. If they get the win in Columbus, and again, you know how I feel about first games of college football season. It's a crapshoot,
Uh-huh.
and that could be the bullet to get them to an undefeated season.
Or it could be the yellow jacket or the speed bump that sends them off into the curb.
I don't think they'll have the Florida State collapse if they lose.
I know that we're a special breed, brother. I'll tell you that much.
But you gotta like how it sets up for Texas after Oklahoma State, San Jose State, UTEP, and Sam Houston. all come to Austin. Open week, they go to the Swamp after the open week to take on Florida, the best rivalry in college football, Red River Shootout in Dallas. They get to go to Lexington and Starkville, the two bottom feeders in the league. At least that's what the media thinks.
Uh-huh.
They get the return. Austin or Vanderbilt comes to Austin, and then they close with Georgia, Arkansas, and Texas A&M. So you gotta like how it sets up for Texas to perhaps run the table if they can get by Ohio State. But to me, that they are the team you expect to win the SEC.
The juice boxes for a couple of these. Some of the juice boxes have Texas over 9.5 wins at a -170. LSU at over 8.5 wins at a -135, and Alabama under 9.5 wins, almost even money at a -105. So those are some interesting juice boxes out of the blocks from some of our folks over in Nevada.
And you gotta like LSU too. You got Garrett Nussmeier decides to come back. He's got all those weapons to throw to. He's got an offensive line that is as good as advertised. Brian Kelly's not won, gotten him in the playoffs, and I'm trying to recall if he's won any kind of signature games during his tenure at LSU. But if he's going to get it done this year, it has to be this year for LSU. And they open at Death Valley in Clemson, at Clemson, which, again, a monster game. Week one's looking great. Texas and Ohio State, Clemson and LSU. And then they've got La Tech, Florida, Southeast Louisiana coming in to their Death Valley. And so possibly if they get by Clemson, that's a 4-0 start before they go to Oxford to take on LSU. The open week, oops, that's the wrong one. They take on South Carolina in Baton Rouge, and then it's a road trip to Vanderbilt. A&M comes to Baton Rouge. Open week until Alabama. That's setting up nicely for that Alabama game, for LSU to be undefeated. And we'll see where Alabama is in their season by that time.
Yeah.
And then you close out with hosting Arkansas, Western Kentucky, and then going to Norman to take on Oklahoma, which, depending on how Oklahoma is, that might be a hiccup on the schedule that might come back to bite LSU. But the way it sets up for LSU, it looks like a classic LSU-Texas kind of battle. That might be your SEC title game because I think Georgia was picked to finish second. And, Georgia doesn't return a lot of starters on offense. And Gunnar Stockton's coming back at quarterback. We saw glimpses of Gunnar Stockton in the championship game when Carson Beck got hurt.
Yep.
And most people like what they saw, but maybe a half of the SEC title game really isn't a body of work to judge by. And so when Georgia gets through their schedule, we'll have a better understanding of if Stockton can keep it going. Obviously, Marshall and Austin Peay, their first two games, he's going to get that chance to build his confidence before Tennessee, before they go to Knoxville to take on Tennessee. So I think that'll be the marker as to, okay, what kind of quarterback can Gunnar Stockton be?
Phil Steele predicted the rankings in the order of finish for 2025, and we'll do this, and then we'll go to break, and then we'll come back and discuss muscular mascots. Going from the back, Mississippi State at the tail, worst team of the 16 in the SEC.
Yep.
Kentucky he has after that at 15. Longest tenured coach in the conference with Mark Stoops. Another quarterback change. 19th year senior Zach Calzada is now under center. And they lost their top recruiter, Vince Marrow, to U of L.
To the rival school in the state.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, you got to wonder what's going on in Lexington right now. Is Mark Stoops' message starting to become stale? I mean, he's been there for a while. he's got them up to a level where, yes, they're going to go to a bowl game. They may win a couple of games against the big boys, but that's what Kentucky has been like for about 30 years, ever since Rich Brooks got them had a few winning seasons.
Yeah.
So when you think about it, not much has changed in Lexington since he got there.
Vandy at 14, once upon a time. Vandy lost 26 straight in the SEC, made a bowl game last year after beating Alabama. Diego Pavia comes back with that offense. Are they 5-7 or are they 6-6?
I give him 6-6.
Okay.
Just because Pavia is that good.
Yeah, just what a lot of
He
other
can will some wins. You know that.
absolutely. Yeah, I do. And
I
I told folks I go back and for the record, when he was at New Mexico State,
Yeah.
we all knew on this show what he was bringing to the table.
Yeah.
New Mexico State goes to the Plains, and I am talking up Diego Pavia. They're like, homecoming game. Yeah, New Mexico State. And I'm like, no, you do not understand what you're getting into here. I warned the boss about that game for the entire season. I'm like, this is not going to be normal. And so she started watching Diego Pavia. She was watching Diego Pavia play for New Mexico State as her game prep for when New Mexico State was coming to be homecoming for Auburn. She knew what was coming. We all knew what was coming in our circle. And then everyone in Auburn had to have their jaws picked up off the floor, except our little section of folks that knew. We're like, no, this is what happens. And then he goes to Vandy, and the same thing happens there. No. He beats Auburn 2 straight years, 2 separate uniforms. When was the last time that happened? And there was a possibility at one point it could have been 3-3 before he decided to go back to Vandy. Tie for 12. Missouri and Arkansas. Offensive production cutting at Missouri. Bo Pribula, promising addition. Edge rusher Damon Wilson transferred in. Arkansas also at number 12, where Arkansas Big Sam, 1 game under 500 in his tenure, 7 games a year after winning 4. So now he's on the hot seat. He's got to replace a lot of offense, gets quarterback Talon Green back.
Yeah, this is kind of the make or break year for Sam Pittman. They got to reach a bowl game. Probably 7 wins, maybe. I'm thinking more 6-6. Mizzou. It's interesting. Arkansas and Missouri very much the same boat right now. Although Eli Drinkwitz has a little more latitude than Sam Pittman does. So when they close the season in the Battle Line trophy game, they may be playing for a bowl bid, and they may be playing to saving one of the. Well, Arkansas will definitely be probably trying to save Sam Pittman's job. But some significant progress needs to be seen at Arkansas for the coaching staff to stay intact. But I really like Talon Green's potential. Another year under Bobby Petrino's watch. You got to kind of like how he's developed. Just does he have the weapons, the offensive weapons to help him out?
I'm just waiting for Charlton Heston to be taken out of War Memorial Stadium going, Talon Green is people! Get your reference, kids. Tied for 10th, Auburn and South Carolina. The boss is not all that optimistic about this season. She really isn't. She's got Auburn probably lower than T10. Is not impressed with the recruiting class, which I think is in the 70 or high 60s, low 70s, and it was as low as 84th in Division I at one point.
Yeah.
And one of the individuals that you brought in from the NFL project where they look for overseas talent, and it was an offensive lineman that you brought in from New Zealand. So a couple of players from the state of Georgia are attached to the roster. The Georgia coefficient was damaged by Brian Harsin. That has not been repaired. I think only 19 players from the state of Georgia are on the current roster. Tough schedule. Hosting Georgia, hosting Alabama, going to Baylor to start your season week 0 Friday night.
Yeah.
Go to Oklahoma, go to College Station. She's not high on Jackson Arnold. A lot of folks are not. South Carolina, Lenora Sellers is back as one of the top QBs in the league. But now with the defense losing a lot of folks, Shane Beamer has some questions. So T10, Auburn and South Carolina.
I think South Carolina is going to be a little better than you think.
Yeah.
Auburn, it could go south real quickly.
I think Auburn will be worse than people think. I think South Carolina might be better than people think.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with that.
7, Tennessee, all eyes on Vols QB, on the QB situation after Nico Iamaleava wanted to leave. Joey Aguilar transfers in to replace. He's I guess, the Wendell Tyler of quarterbacks when it comes to college football.
Wow,
Very
there's a blast from the past.
turnover prone. Go watch it on YouTube. Also at T7, Ole Miss. You have.
Well, going back to Tennessee,
Sure.
watch that game against Syracuse. Syracuse is better than
Oh,
people think.
yeah. Yeah, look, all you got to do is talk to our buddy John Fox about Syracuse. He knows all about what's going on up there in the Northeast, and so when Sly, he'll talk about what's going on at
I know he
Syracuse.
does. Biggest Syracuse fan I know.
And so when Sly comes in, and that's a warning for everybody else. We know what Sly's bringing to the table this season.
Yeah. Old
Uh,
style.
Warning to everybody else: Syracuse is not your older brother's Syracuse. Ole Miss, a lot of folks went out the door. Austin Simmons comes in at quarterback. Sundarin Perkins, Prince Will, Uman Milan have a defense that are going to be the names to look at for this defense coming in. So everybody in, everybody out, and it's Ole Miss. So I'm guessing they'll be right there, middle of the pack.
I agree with you. They've lost a lot of talent. They did do well in the transfer portal, and opening up against Georgia State, Kentucky, Arkansas, Tulane, before heading into LSU, showdown with LSU in Oxford. Really, that Kentucky game's in Lexington. To me, I think Ole Miss will handle that game. They should get off to a good start. But when you got Georgia and Athens, um, yeah, it's that's really going to be the telltale game for Ole Miss. Um, but I never count out a Lane Kiffin team. Never do.
Until late in the
They
year.
could be fun.
Yeah, they'll be fun. You'll be tossing clipboards and things, but yeah, late in the year or in a bowl game. That's usually when you sit there and you raise an eyebrow at Ole Miss.
Exactly.
Also at T7 is Florida. DJ Lagway's only a sophomore, but a lot of folks are looking at the future for Coach Napier down there in Gainesville, and DJ Lagway is proving why all of the hype is real.
But they got a tough schedule. I mean, you're opening up against Long Island in Gainesville. Okay, there's a win.
Ooh. Oh
South
boy,
Florida comes to Gainesville. Okay, that'll be a win.
that's a win.
But then LSU and Baton Rouge, then heading down to South Florida to take on Miami before getting a week off to host Texas, and then going to Texas A&M. That's a brutal start. And then obviously the Georgia game, the cocktail party. Um, Tennessee comes to Gainesville, and then who knows what the Florida State Seminoles will look like. But that is a tough. I mean, that game, those games until mid-October are tough for Florida.
Yeah, well, I ain't holding my breath on Tallahassee. T4, Phil Steele has, and we've discussed 1 and 2. Phil Steele has Georgia 1, Texas 2, by the way, Alabama 3, Oklahoma 4, even with that 6-6 finish, and LSU with a T4. The other T4 is Texas A&M, one of the most experienced offensive lines out there, Marcel Reed. He's anticipating Marcel Reed's going to have a lot of time to throw the ball, backfield, receivers, so it might be taking the over with Texas A&M and Mike Elko. And Phil Steele has them at T4 this year.
I really like the Aggies this year. I've always liked Mike Elko's team. They're tough as nails. Breaks just didn't go their way last year. Uh, Again, I like A&M over Alabama in the standings. I know they're calling it the redemption year.
See, when you do those kinds of things,
Yeah.
that's stepping on Superman's cape a little bit. I don't know if you want to go there.
And I think Alabama fans are scared, very scared that they're not going to get 10 wins.
Mm-hmm.
And they open up at Tallahassee against Florida State.
I think both teams are going to lose that game, to be perfectly honest with you.
Yeah. So if, I'd bet A&M over Alabama. But the top three, LSU, Georgia, and Texas, that's the three going to be battling out. And I like LSU and Texas to be in the title game.
So that's the rundown according to Wilkie, borrowing from Phil Steele and borrowing from Dave Campbell out at Texas Football. Subscribe to Dave Campbell. That is an unsolicited promo because I do, and Wilkie gets the annuals, and it is the Sagrada Biblia for everything going on in Texas football. They have over 1,500 high school football previews in this year's magazine, and Sark's on the cover. So it's a little bit of sepia tone, kind of a grimy, hey coach, I've already been coaching kind of photo. But subscribe to Dave Campbell's Texas Football as you always should. When we come back, next segment, we're going to talk about muscular mascots and anything else that is on our minds to wrap up the first college football X of the season. You're listening and watching and accessing however you are doing so all across all the places on the OSG Sports Network. Back with more X after this.
The online sports guys would love to hear from you. Go to our X page, formerly known as Twitter at OSG Sports, for a comment, rant, or just whatever is on your mind about college football. Now back to the College Football X. Here's John Nelson.
Welcome back, B Block, College Football X 2025 premiere for the 2025 season. John here, John there, 2 Johns, 1 ball. B, 2, 3, 4. That's a joke that's going to keep on giving all season long. Yeah. Here in the final segment of the show, what we traditionally like to do is we kind of go over all of the stories that are kind of off the beaten path. And this one is one that is off the beaten path.
Qualifies.
Yeah, but you really can't ignore it either because it's just kind of staring at you right in the face. The best headline I saw comes from our friends over at MSN, the Microsoft network folks. The headline of the article is "The Eagle is Branded."
That's great.
And what we mean by this is, for those of you that are followers, fans, appreciators of everything that is the American Athletic Conference, the AC is no more. It no longer exists. It has been wiped from our existence, and it has been placed in some sections of the discount aisle when it comes to buying the gear. And trust me, I've looked, because I'm going to be chasing after that AC gear and adding it to the stacks. It is now just the American Conference, and they have a mascot for the American Conference. I guess.
What would that mascot be?
A damned muscular eagle named Soar, who looks like he's like freaking John Randall or something, dressed ready to promote a college football conference. So he is an upright, a biped. He is a biped bird that is quite muscular. I'm trying to remember if it was arms akimbo or not. I think it's arms akimbo, if I'm not mistaken. And you're looking at a damned muscular bird for a conference that has contracted its middle name, and now they are now just the American Conference, and it is SOAR. So now apparently, those of us here, Wilkie, in our purview on this side of the camera, are supposed to use the American Conference on first reference and American on subsequent references. The website modernized website is supposed to have gone live today, as you and I are talking. So if we go to the
I'm there.
American.org, it is up to date. Everything has been changed. They are at a kickoff. That's their media days. Hey, look, when you got a logo that's an A and it's a kickoff, it is a kickoff. That's their media days. There are so many jokes with this article. Theamerican.org, they are at a kickoff, not the kickoff, just a kickoff, and it's factually accurate. And they now have a damned muscular bird as a part of all of their stuff.
So, all right. So you got a conference that has a mascot.
Yes.
So if we go to the major college level,
Sure.
the SEC mascot would be
Paul Feinbaum. I
the
can't.
Big Ten mascot would be.
Jim Harbaugh.
Oh, so they're going to be people.
I'm just randomly guessing here. I mean, what it would have to. I'm just guessing what it would be. It would have to be. Frankly, it would. See, but the thing
Well, it
is,
makes sense with the American because San
yeah,
Diego.
America, America. You have San Diego, and now you're sore. So
Or the Eagle, there you go.
so you're
Eagle,
sore.
American.
I get it. Yeah. So no, I'm down with that. I
I'm
understand.
thinking the SEC mascot would be a hillbilly or a redneck.
Okay. Wow, said by somebody who's in Conference USA for a living.
The Big Ten.
Uh,
Uh,
Snowplow.
yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Something cold natured. Uh,
Okay, frozen pond. Okay, but that's ice hockey season. But yeah, so
yeah,
I'd say a snowplow.
ice fishing or something like that.
No, that's the that's the valley. That's oh no, that's Big Sky. Big Sky
Big
is
Sky.
Big
No,
Sky.
Big Sky would be a cowboy.
Okay,
I
well,
worked that league for 3 years.
well, what about the Mountain West? Wouldn't that be a cowboy?
Yeah, probably.
Okay,
But FCS, FBS, like you could split there.
okay.
Um, yeah, ACC. Who cares? They're not going to be around much longer, right?
Well, yeah. So, well, the ACC would be
Something
actually. You know what the ACC would be?
something snotty and sophisticated.
Well, no, I was going to say what I was going to say the ACC mascot is an uninhabited cutoff hoodie sweatshirt. Literally, it's just a sweatshirt that has all the logos of the teams on it, and there's no one inside it. Literally, it's like on a mannequin stand,
Yeah.
and it's just this unmanned hoodie sweatshirt with the sleeves cut off.
Well, this is kind of a crazy attempt by the American to stay relevant because they've lost a lot of schools that have gone from group of five to major college, group of four.
Yeah,
And they still got a good set of schools.
yeah.
It's just nothing that really comes out and smacks you in the face when you want to watch a game.
No,
Really, the Sun Belt has, in my opinion, on the group of five level, has kind of overtaken the American
yeah.
as the conference in that group of five.
Mm-hmm.
With the Mountain West not too far behind. It just remains to be seen with the defections of the Pac-12 how that affects the Mountain West.
Well, I
just think this is a crazy move by the American to have a mascot.
Well, but I think if you're
That's all that branding. I understand.
if you're mascotting the pack, I think it's a change of a dress kit. I think that's what the mascot is for the pack these days. But right now, for those that may not know, the American has UAB, Army, Charlotte, East Carolina, FAU, not FIU, which for both whichever conferences have one or the other, they need to be in each, much like we were discussing in the A block. Memphis, Navy. So having Army and Navy in the same conference, that's big. North Texas, Rice, South Florida, Temple, Texas, San Antonio, Tulane, Tulsa, and Wichita State, who's still not playing football.
And Memphis is bringing sponsorships with them so they can go to the major college level, to the
big,
group of four level.
Yeah, the big XII. They want to go there, and they're like, well, no. What if we bring $200 million to the table? Nah. No, you can't come.
Nobody wants to go to Memphis.
No. So their slogan, "Built to Rise," ties into the league's Rise Revenue, Innovation, Sports, and Entertainment Ventures, a new commercial and innovation unit. According to the American, SOAR is the first live and okay. Now this is from Heather Dinich over at the Four Letter. According to the American, SOAR is the first live and animated. Can you be both?
I don't think you can.
Live and animated.
You're either alive or you're drawn.
This is so you're animated. You're like Megan.
Okay, see, there's the confusion right there. Are you alive?
Or are you drawn?
Or are you drawn?
Are you the Jessica Rabbit of college football conference mascots?
It loses credibility with me.
I'm just drawn that way.
It's lost credibility with me. If you have a live eagle, I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
But a drawn eagle.
And it's a biped. Literally, this is an eagle in the mock-ups that was standing on its own two very, very human-looking feet or boots or cleats or what have you.
Last I saw, Eagles didn't have boots or cleats.
That's what I'm saying. This is a biped.
They had talons.
The muscular bird will be used as a community ambassador and will lead reading programs for kids, volunteer days at League Camp High, and charity fundraisers as part of the conference's Sort of Serve initiative. The mascot could be included in video games, jersey patches, merchandise, and mascot theme sponsor campaigns. The 15-member American sent 8 teams to bowls last year, captured the Bowl Challenge Cup with a record of 6-2. And then you had a quote wrapped around the press release, couple of quotes from American Commissioner Tim Pernetti. So today at Media Days, as we're talking, Thursday at Media Days in Charlotte, the 15-team American came out with a biped, live and animated mascot. I have issues. More than normal, but so
on that note,
yes.
I think it's time to close the show.
I think it is. So please enjoy a kickoff and enjoy your biped mascot, because I don't think you can piss him off, because you'll probably knock some sense out of you. So we'll be keeping an eye on the Merkin and on SOAR and on biped muscular mascots all season long, but this is just the first go-round of the College Football X. Wilkie, send us home.
So appreciate you guys watching us. More in the coming weeks with interviews as we continue to preview. And then it's time to foretoe the meat leather, and we'll talk about the games, bring more guests in. We appreciate you guys listening. So for John Nelson, I'm John Wilkerson. So long, everyone. And please like and subscribe.
What he said.